Okay, hello you guys. This is Persia 007. I want to wish you all a happy Halloween tonight. I hope you guys are out with your kids if you got any, and you guys are out there having a good time. I hope your kids are having a good time out trick or treating. I hope you guys are doing it safely. You're wearing your mask, socially distanced, and I hope this Halloween turns out to be something that could put our minds off of COVID-19. I know there's a lot of uh, newer cases going on right now. A lot of areas in the country are seeing spikes in cases. A lot more people are dying from the illness, and I like to say that I sure hope this coronavirus pandemic does get better and it doesn't get worse. I hope the government can get a hold on things and move forward. But today I'm going to be doing a video um, talking about what I think about psychopaths and what I think should happen to psychopaths. And how I think it relates to YouTube. Um, I watched a video from YouTuber Big Juggernuggets and another YouTuber, Ashley May. Um, Ashley spent time with McJuggernuggets for a couple months during this pandemic, and they both released a video, a breakup video, and they talked about pretty much their friendship not working out. And but Ashley did her side. And it seems like to me that the Juggernuggets, aka Jesse Ridgway, did not really spend the time with her as he should have. From what she said that he put YouTube before everything. He did not really include her in certain things that she felt left out. She was pretty much told to quit her profession to becoming a school teacher, in which she went to college for many years for. He wanted her to do YouTube, and that's not really what she wanted. And he kind of controlled her a little bit, she claims, and she also claims that he's somewhat narcissistic, that he would rather make money by doing his YouTube videos every day than really spend time with her. And I think that is very inconsiderate, very, I guess, immature when it comes to relationships, I guess. And, I don't, he should have spent a lot of quality time with her instead of doing these videos. She talked about his obsession with Lance Stewart, which I do find him somewhat oddly obsessed with Lance Stewart. Whether it's part of a series or not, I don't know. But I think he kind of crossed the line with Lance Stewart by barging in his house just to want to do videos, and you know, and I could see that he wasn't very happy with Lance potentially getting married, apparently, and I seen a little bit of jealousy there. But yeah, that's the thing about these YouTube girlfriends. These fans want to meet these YouTubers, and then they form friendships that get serious, and then all of a sudden they don't work out because the YouTubers they look up to turn out to be narcissists, aka workaholics. They want to be self-centered. They want to create as much drama. They want to do whatever it takes to make all the money they can get to how you want to say it, fill up their ego, whatever it is. Um, and they will be very upset if anything gets in their way. And just like Onision, he has a string of relationships with girlfriends that never worked out. He had a 3-week relationship that only lasted with Adrian, and then he spent time with Shiloh that went bad. He had spent time with Billy, Sarah that went bad. Now he's got accusations against him, but I think McJuggernuggets, Jesse Ridgeway, aka McJuggernuggets, aka Jesse Ridgeway. He doesn't really need a girlfriend if he's going to be in the YouTube business. I think that um, if he wants to have a girlfriend, he needs to settle down, take time off of YouTube, maybe a couple years, whatever. Go out and find somebody, spend time with them, get married, whatever, have kids, whatever. And then if they both want to do YouTube videos and come back, make a comeback, I could see that. But trying to balance YouTube and a friendship, or especially when it comes to girlfriend, boyfriend, or boyfriend, girlfriend, or even a marriage, it's not going to work. It's going to be on the rocks because the person making these videos is going to want to make as much money on this platform as they can. And if they don't make enough money on this platform, they go nuts because they don't know where the next turn is going to be. How are they going to be able to buy their next video game? How are they going to buy their next gen console? How are they going to be able to buy the next iPhone or the most expensive thing there is to buy? That's all they worry about. They don't worry about the families. They don't worry about themselves. They don't worry about the friends they hang out with. They don't worry about their better half or their partners, such as girlfriends or whatever. But I could see McJuggernuggets being a little bit controlling. I could see him trying to spin a narrative a little bit. I could see him that if you don't go by his script, I could see that he can kind of get very upset when he feels that he's been, I guess, betrayed or whatever, when he thinks that you have to be all on his side. I remember when during the Devil Inside back in 2017, when he did videos about a contract where he would make every member in the family sign contracts, and that really upsetted me because it's like Onision's non-disclosure agreement, which means he wanted the family to be part of the series and not get paid. Although now we find out it was part of the series, but I know he was very edgy on that first season of Devil Inside, which lasted from, I think, when was it? The end of 2017, and lasted all the way through much of 2018. And then he went into the competition series after that. Devil Inside series started right after the Christmas Story series that he did for Christmas, and then he did the competition series, and then he did the My Virtual Escape for I think 4 seasons, 5 seasons, I ain't for sure. I've seen every video of the Virtual Escape. I think he did very well. He's an excellent creator, but for him, that's another thing too. For him to have to email his mother and not actually communicate with her, that's very disrespectful, since his parents pretty much gave him everything to be as successful as he is today, being able to have the finances and resources for him to do what he does, to even become a YouTuber. While they have to, I imagine when he started out, they had to foot the bill on the rent and everything else just so he could inspire to have this dream to become Psycho Kid and do the Psycho series. And I think he's taken all that for granted, according to Ashley. And but I really felt bad for Ashley when she made her video, because the way she was just talking about him was not in a good light. I mean, at the beginning, she said everything was going pretty good. She was happy, but then everything went down when he pretty much fixated on his content and not really on her, when he should have been spending time with her on the cruise and not on his job, YouTube, which YouTube I do not consider is not a job. It's a hobby that you can make a lot of money off, apparently, or at least you could have back back 2 or 3 years ago. But I think people like him, don't need to really be on a platform. They don't really. They need to really be out working a regular job. They need to be scared straight, see what it's like to be homeless, see what it's like to be struggling, making ends meet, doing one paycheck month to month. Not no $4,000 either. I'm talking about maybe 1,000 or 2,000, and see how you can live on that in the state of New Jersey. I just don't, that's one thing about YouTubers that I don't understand. These people make a whole bunch of money on here, but they complain when something goes wrong. They flip out, have these so-called fake meltdowns. Like Nikado Avocado has these fake meltdowns where he's smashing his mukbang plate, where he throws food everywhere and pretends to cry in front of his audience, like everything is not his fault. He's the victim and everything. Onision creating these fake meltdown videos is because he wants to pander to people that want to see him suffer, and worried his entire family in the process, not caring about what his relatives think about these meltdowns. Shane Dawson having a meltdown over Tati Westbrook, claiming over her being a victim of sexual violence, and then he tries to dismiss her victimization and put his victimization in there. And that was fake, because that was on Instagram Live. He's trying to keep his followers during the Dramageddon of the summer. And these YouTubers do not know how good they actually have it. They don't understand how bad they could have had it if the parents told them, well, guess what? You're not going to be going to film school. You're not going to be carrying a camera through this house. You're not going to be filming everything in this house. You're not going to take a camera with you, or going out in public having people tell you to shut the camera off, and being kicked out of a store, or being arrested for filming in a federal building. I think it's, these people, I think have it pretty damn good, in my opinion. They're making good money, getting these nice video game systems, nice phones, nice houses, nice cars, but yet they had to continuously go the extra mile, because in their mind, they're so narcissistic, they don't understand that enough is enough. That they'll go so far on their YouTube career to where they'll either burn out, or they'll end up crashing their career to begin with. And that's my thoughts on the McJuggerNugget situation and all the other YouTube situation. Now to the actual psychopath. I watched a movie called Mother Against Monster. It's a movie about a teenager tormenting his mother because she takes his video game system away, because he's acting out at school and disrespecting her at home, not doing chores. And the movie kind of plays out this kid that's very violent, breaks everything, smashes his entire room, and at the end of the movie, he violence his mother and hides her in a closet, puts two car batteries together, puts the wires up to a doorknob, and his mother would have touched the doorknob, she would then be knocked out. And then he was making her say these lines, saying that she was a psychopath and not him. But that movie was making me think about today's teenagers. It's amazing how bad some of these kids could really be. These kids these past school shooters that went to school and all shot up these kids. I wonder how they treated their families. How they how they reacted to being punished for breaking a rule in the household or getting a detention in school, teachers telling them to mind during the class and they yell at the teacher or whatever and throw desks or whatever it is. I just wonder what should happen to these kids that are very well known to be antisocial, psychopathic, or even narcissistic. In my opinion, they need to go. I think these kids need to be somehow uh, exterminated if they're proven to be very psychopathic and they are known proof that they could become serial killers or just a menace to society and there's no treatment for whatever they have. I think they ought to be exterminated, including myself, because people with learning disabilities, intellectuals, and those people who have antisocial personalities, borderline personalities, uh, narcissistic personalities that have no empathy, they don't need to be here. They don't. They're not really any use to society when they have no empathy. You have to have empathy toward other people in order to survive, in order to be able to have relationship bonds, friendships, being able to socialize. Empathy means everything. Sympathy means everything. When you're a psychopath, you're narcissistic, antisocial, borderline, you're not going to have that. And to me, and Onision, if you're watching this, to me, you're useless. People like you need to be exterminated. And this video gets removed, I can understand why. And I think that's what Hitler did in Germany. I think he thought he was going to try to wipe out a form of the human race, which were Jews. But what he did was wrong. He had a thing against Jews, but he would have done it against criminals or whatever, I can understand. Um, and so I think the death penalty, in my opinion, needs to be amped up. They need to quit doing these appeals. These people are sentenced to die. They should die within one or 2 months, either 30 to 60 days. Maybe let them have one appeal and that's it. I think these taxpayers paying for these people to be on death row is absolutely ridiculous. And I think, again, they think the death penalty is going to keep us from doing something stupid. And some people, it's not going to work. If I want to go to the store and go out on the street and do something to somebody, you think I'm going to be thinking about getting lethal injection or being put in the gas chamber or electrocuted? No. People are not going to be thinking about the possible punishment or penalty they're going to face if they're arrested and convicted of whatever crime they're being accused of, or murder, whatever it is. They don't think about that when they're killing somebody or they're committing a robbery or bank heist, whatever it might be. They don't think about going to prison or losing their life to the state because they committed a capital crime that qualifies for the death sentence. And I do feel bad for these wardens or these executioners that have to carry out these executions because, yes, these people deserve to die, but I think, a member of a victim's family should be the one to pull the lever on the hanging, should be the one to flip the switch on the electrocution, and should be the one to operate the lethal injection. And have them take a class on how to use these drugs. There should be no other warden, no governor, no medical professional doing these executions. I think the victim should have a right to put these condemned men to death. That includes psychopaths. So in this other movie I watched, what was the name of it? What was the name of the movie I watched? Hang on, let me see what the name of the movie was. Oh, the movie I watched, that's right, not yesterday, but the day before. It's called Daddy's Little Girl. It's about this father's 6-year-old girl being kidnapped by his brother. And his brother kept a notebook diary on what he did with the little girl at the beach. And apparently this brother got mad at the father for letting him go off of a job because he was not doing well on his job, got fired, and he took vengeance out on his daughter and raped and killed his daughter. And the father finds out through his secret journal that he found during a house party that his brother hosted. And then during the movie, there he starts torturing this guy for 6 days, his very own brother, for committing the most heinous act you can ever do to a 6-year-old child, murdering and violating, you know, and I think a relative, whether it's brother against brother, if a sibling in the family does something horrendous, I think the family has every right to disown that child and do whatever they want to do with that kid. They want to put the gun to the kid's head, pull its trigger. I know it's street justice, it's vigilantism, whatever. I am completely for it, because if they commit something like that in real life, they deserve to be cut out of the family, and they deserve to be put in the ground and executed, because they're going to act like that. And then you call them brother or sister or niece, nephew, uncle, whatever. What are they going to do to somebody else? You don't want to stain your family name because you got a sibling or a relative in your family that's going to commit a serious crime, and then the whole family has to go down for it. And I think it's ridiculous. But I think all psychopaths need to be cut out of society. All antisocials need to be cut out of society. I think all borderlines need to be cut out. Because again, they're no use to society. And I know the United States would never implement this at all, but I just think people that have no empathy don't deserve to live, and they don't deserve to speak. They don't deserve to even be treated, because there's no treatment for narcissism. There's no treatment really for borderline unless you have medication. And of course, the borderline will choose not to take his or her medication. So that, to me, renders them untreatable, in my opinion. An antisocial personality disorder, there's nothing you can do but corrections by putting the person in jail, in prison for the rest of their lives, pretty much, because they'll continuously reoffend, because they have no cares for society. They got no cares about abiding by the law, being a regular citizen. Narcissism, they think that they're untouchable, nothing's going to happen to them, and they'll throw the blame on somebody else, or throw the blame on the accuser that's accusing him or her of any wrongdoing. And narcissism, they also send flying monkeys to the victims to make their lives a living hell. And so, narcissism is part of the extinction list that needs to be go, and that includes a whole bunch of people. And from my here, according to these statistics, there's over 6.5 million psychopaths here in America, estimated. People that are considered to be psychopathic, narcissistic, antisocial. Now, I didn't say anything about borderline, but I know borderline's considered to be just as bad as antisocial because they have problems forming relationships and possible lack of empathy thereof or sympathy. But yeah, a lot of people are going to say on this video that antisocial or narcissism is what drives this country, is what drives the whole entire world. Yeah, there's healthy narcissism, but when the narcissism gets to the grandiosity and it gets to where it harms other people, then you are, to me, no good. And you should surely at the end suffer the worst fate possible. So this is what I think about psychopaths, narcissists, and borderlines and antisocials. And this is just my opinion, you guys. I know this is not a very good thing to say. It's just, I'm talking about exterminating certain groups of people, which is, I don't know if it's illegal or not, but it's probably against this TOS on the side. But, you know, this is just my opinion because I've watched 2 movies to do about narcissism and psychopath and or psychopathy, and I think, if this world is able to get like that, am I even going to be able to survive in this world? I mean, goodness gracious. Okay, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and again, I wish you all a happy Halloween. Be safe out there, wear your mask, social distance, and just be good to each other. And wish you all a good weekend. And talk to you soon. Goodbye.